All right, guys, so today we have the gamesir Supernova in the house. This is a $50 controller. It doesn't look like much, but it does have a ton of really nice features. It has wireless charging, so you can connect it to this little dock. I'll have some video overlays so you guys can check out the RGB and the charging dock, but it's pretty nice. This thing has 1000 hertz polling, Hall effect thumbsticks, has hair trigger capability, and this does also work as a Switch controller that has full analog capability as well, so you can use it on Windows and play racing games and things like that. I know some of the Switch controllers and other gamesir gamepads that they've made in the past did not have the full analog capability, but this controller actually does, so it is very versatile. This does have 1000 hertz polling rate capability as well, and it works both over wired and wireless, which is pretty impressive. Taking a look at the charging dock real quick, we have the pins to attach for the wireless charger, USB-C port to connect to your device, and then a USB receiver that connects nicely into the dock. Obviously, you can plug this right into your Switch as well, but when you're done playing with it, if you just want to set your controller onto it to charge so you're ready to go for next time, then you're pretty much good to go. In terms of the feel of this controller, I wouldn't call it slippery. Like, the grip is pretty decent, and you do feel like a little bit of gluiness without having to use stuff like those gamer grips and whatnot. So I do kind of like that because you do get a nice locked in feel with this controller without it feeling overly dry or slippery. Like, it's like that perfect medium where it doesn't feel like a stock Xbox controller where it more or less just feels really slippery. Even the PS5 controller stock are pretty bad, but it's not quite to the level of having Pulsar super grips on your controller. So this is a nice happy medium. The buttons, they're not mechanical buttons or anything, they're membrane, but they do feel really nice. The thumbsticks are really nice as well, and so are these anti-friction rings. And you can also remove, see here, the faceplate as well, reorder the buttons and place them where you would like. And then gamesir also offers exchangeable faceplates for $10 that have multiple colors. This is the standard black and blue version. You could change the faceplate to have, you know, green, brown, whatever. But there is also a white version that comes with a pink faceplate that you can also use and swap out as well. So that's pretty nice. The only thing that I'm disappointed is that the thumbsticks do come out, but they don't give you any extra thumbsticks in the box. Pretty much it in terms of my lines of disappointment with this controller. But otherwise, the look, the feel, everything, you do have the quick action to change the triggers as well, from being the full press to the shorter press. And then in the gamesir software, you can also turn your trigger into a hair trigger without the need of using the trigger stop if you want super instant triggers for FPS games and playing on PC. Coming around to the back, we have the USB-C port for charging and playing, and then you can turn the controller off over to the Bluetooth mode or over to the wireless USB mode. And then you do have your two back buttons here, which have a nice satisfying click, and they are super easy to set up. One of the best things about this controller is actually the gamesir software. Super easy to use. You can change like your dead zones, you can test your triggers and make sure that all your buttons are working and whatnot, and it just works really easily. More or less for 50 bucks, and probably being one of the last Nintendo Switch compatible controllers that I'll be looking at before we start looking at Nintendo Switch 2 controllers, I do think that this is a fantastic deal. Even if you don't play Nintendo Switch games and you're looking for a quality controller for 50 bucks on Windows, I gotta give it to gamesir. This is my new favorite.